Hey, how's it going, guys? Sean from Team Honey Badger here, answering you guys my last video of 2017. So this is going to be my top 5 favorite strides, because with the stride era ending and us heading into a new era, I just wanted to share with you guys, some of my favorite strides. All of these strides, I essentially have a story to go with, so these are the 5, and these are 2 honorable mentions. I think you guys will know what at least one of the cards will be on this list. But without further ado, let's jump into it. So, starting us off, New Destruction Emperor Gaia Devastate. So, New Destruction Emperor Gaia Devastate, and I have a very interesting thing, because I first saw this card and was like, holy crap, this card is so cool. And then eventually I picked up Tachikaze, and I have that deck right here. Like, this card pushed me to make Tachikaze, and I always found its skill to be so interesting, targeting specific circles to retire. And so you could retire locked cards and all this, that, and the other. And then being able to gain a crit and a drive check is really huge, not to mention 10k on top of that. So I always found this to be an interesting card, and I'm glad I finally have the deck that makes it work. So that's number 5. Number 4, Mystery Freeze Dragon. So, a lot of you guys may not like this card, but due to this being my list of my personal favorite cards, and they're not necessarily competitively viable, I really like Mystery Freeze a lot. I just thought that being able to have like the actual luck factor of Vanguard play into how your deck performs on a specific turn was so fun. And like, being able to use this now, because there's no tournaments going on this winter, and just play for fun, I really love it. It's such a fun card to use. And then my friend Ryan gave me this card. You guys will see more of him eventually, maybe. Who knows? And then I have another one from a veteran. He was a veteran from the Army. His name is John. I met him at regionals. And shouts to you, bud, for protecting our country and giving this card to me. So, I just really like Mystery Freeze a lot for that reason. Both of these have sentimental meaning to me, and I like that card a lot. Next, number 3. So, Battle Sister Mirror. This was the card that, when it came out, I was like, okay, yeah, I have to build Battle Sisters again. Because it's GB3, being able to give 1k for each card reminded me of one of my very favorite decks. You guys remember this deck, don't you? But being able to give 5k, essentially, because it has to have an Oracle, you're essentially hitting Regale numbers at GB3. But the fact that it's one turn behind Regale didn't make it work for me competitively, but Mirror, I always found to be such a fun card. Being able to draw, give power, and flip up cards in G-Zone so you could get into some of your larger strides, really awesome. So, Battle System Mirror. Not much more to say other than I think she's awesome. So before I get into my top 2, here are some honorable mentions. Sanctuary Guard Regale. So, you guys probably was expecting this one in this list, because Saint Guard and I had some great times together. Unfortunately, the deck isn't where I want it to be able to take it to tournaments and all this, that, and the other as a competitive player. But I still love the deck, and I do think it's Sanctuary Guard Regale is one of the strongest cards to ever come out in its time. And I remember getting this signed by the president of Bushiroad USA when he came to visit my regional, and he put the date, and he was saying, and then I eventually saw him at the hotel bar when I was there with my mom that day. Funny story, we have a few pictures together. But Sanctuary Guard Regale, I think you guys know that this card definitely brought me places. I even would say sometimes I was carried by this card throughout some tournaments. So I really can't forget this card when making this list, but unfortunately it didn't make the top 5 because I wanted to keep it to my personal favorites rather than just competitively favorite cards. And its art, gotta love its art. And then lastly, for my second honorable mention, Meteor Kaiser Tribute. So I'm sure you guys have heard me say that I love this card, and I really do. Being able to give Nova Grappler, add a new dimension to Nova Grappler by retiring rear guards and gaining power just because you stand. And at the time it came out, the deck already stood itself with Victor, White Hank. I always found to be so cool. I even tried to make it work in Blouse with Mars Block Cougar. Look how that turned out. But for sure, I loved this card. It just gave Nova Grappler so much. And the art looks so cool. Like, even when the Stargate booster comes out, I'm going to keep this in. Because it's like, this card gives Nova so much utility, being able to retire rear guards. You know, a lot of pesky starters, this, that, and the other, etc., etc. And then, I always remembered when I was in, I was in middle school when this card came out. And what we did was, I would always just try this as my first stride, and then attack with it. And then with Blouse, and I would restand Mars with the on hit, and retire John's Vanguard booster. That's my friend that I played with. So, Meteor Kaiser Tributes, still use him today, and I'm almost done with high school. Ugh, goodness. So those are my 2 honorable mentions, and then now for my top 2 favorite strides. Favorite Champ Victor. Now, favorite Champ Victor definitely had to be included on this list because I've always said, when will Nova Grappler get a restander that's like Galaxy and Mon combined? Restand your rear guards and restand your Vanguard. They kind of got a pseudo version in Victor and Victoplasma, but I'm like, oh yeah, favorite Champ Victor. It does that, and it doesn't even have to hit. It's like, oh my gosh, I finally got the Nova card that I wanted, and it's SGR, and I know this is pretty expensive right now, but yeah. There's really not a lot to say about it, other than it's like this card plus the Break Ride combined. It's really, really good, and like I said with Tribute, I can't wait for the new support. Now for my number 1 favorite stride, I'm sure you guys probably did not see this coming if you're a new viewer. But for my long-time fans, you guys should have seen this coming. Saint Blow Dragon. Saint Blow Dragon and I have been through some times. He was honestly my first ever Royal Paladin stride. I think one of my first strides ever. That wasn't from a trial deck. I have 4 triple rares and 2 SP. Shout out to James. He's a guy from my locals, great friend, and he gave one of these to me for Christmas. Love you. Saint Blow Dragon. Every ARG, every regional, I at least used him twice. Like, when I say I strode Saint Blow to win the game, I definitely do mean I strode Saint Blow to win the game. When I was in Orlando and went undefeated, Saint Blow was there for me. When I had to play against Link Joker Conroe at ARG States to win, Saint Blow was there for me. When I played at regionals with Sword Me, Saint Blow was there for me. There wasn't ever a time where I never not considered striding Saint Blow, even on Regale turns. Just because going in with the crit when you know they don't have the perfect guard is really, really huge. Especially when they're at 4 damage, Sanctuary Guard Regale might not be the best choice. So just keep your options open, and maybe you guys will find your version of Saint Blow Dragon. So, yeah. Anyway, guys, that's it for this quick little video that I wanted to make for y'all. I hope you all enjoyed this top 5 list of just something not serious, just something fun, and that y'all could enjoy. So, hope to see y'all next time at 500 subscribers. Thank you all for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you all in 2018.